Do you really think people are going to be like, I need to collect every cover of ISOM number 5? It's like, no.
Pokemon's still doing it, so take that.
Pokemon's giving you 2 versions, you mean?
Yeah, Pokemon's always going to do it.
Yeah, well, those have different Pokemon in them. You don't get a different ISOM comic book.
Why not? Give us a new cameo characters in each book.
ISOM 5 has a different ending. That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Choose your own ending along with the cover. What's up?
You know, it'd be good is if they did variant interiors with only my cover, the same cover.
I think that's smart.
Yeah, over and over again. It just seems
It's
like
50 pages of that.
Yeah. How are you gentlemen doing? Happy Thanksgiving to all of you.
Happy Thanksgiving.
Buddy. Happy Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
I see you made a pie video.
Yeah. I got to go out and get some pies. It was
I watched that pie video. I think I left a comment.
That got a lot of views. I gotta say, like, I did a pie video. It got like nearly 4,000 views.
It's pretty
good.
Guys
do like, ask me anything about comics, and they get like 1,000 views. I eat a pie and I get 4,000.
Some people do an exclusive interview with Chuck Dixon and get like 500 views.
Oh shit!
So, actually, maybe it went up. I don't know.
Pie content.
Yeah, that was a good-looking pie.
Well, I bought 4 of them. What are you eating there, Clippa?
Did you get a peach pie or not?
No, I don't like peach pie. No.
What the fuck, dude? You're nuts.
I'm a cherry pie man myself.
Mac and cheese. Okay, good.
Peach is the superior pie.
Wrong. Apple is the best pie. Pumpkin pie is good, but only around Thanksgiving. I don't want it any other time. But apple pie is king. And then also you get into the meringues, the lemon meringue. You get into the coconut custard. You get into the chocolate silk, like that shit. That's great all year round. But when you're getting into the peach pie, dude, I mean, I don't know. That peach pie to me is like diarrhea. Like that.
Look,
right
I'll
there
say this:
right
a peach cobbler is better than a peach pie. I'll admit that. But
apple cobbler, apple beats peach. I'm telling you, unless they're really
too sweet. Apple's too sweet.
When you get into the peaches, you put them in you get a nice in the summertime, or you get the peaches, you put them in a paper sack, and you get them nice and soft, and they just explode like water bombs when you bite them. That's the shit. That's the best right there. But other than that, I have no use for peaches. Tony, it's great to be on the show. Thank you for forcing me to beg for the invite. I appreciate it.
No problem. That's what we do around here.
I know. I noticed.
I got a haiku.
He believes me so much. EVS, he won't play my intro unless I beg.
What?
Yeah, but it'll play me dancing every 2 seconds.
Well, that's because people give me money for that. They enjoy seeing you dance.
I think if you're monetizing my dance, something has
I gave
gone
you
on.
$5 the other day.
Oh, that's true. I'll take it. I'll take that money.
Quaker says, if you're ever in Houston, EVS, go to the House of Pie. They're known for their excellent pies.
I've heard that.
Yeah, I don't think I'm going to go to Houston anytime soon. I hate to say it, Probably not. But thank you. I will.
Houston's full of queers. I don't know if that's true.
We got the best food here. I mean, well, maybe not pies. I mean, pies might be kind of more of a Midwestern thing, but if you're in New Jersey, New York, Philly...
I was going to say, you're in Jersey, right? I think I get food in Jersey.
Yeah, you don't need to go anywhere else when it comes to food. We got all the best cuisine here. We got the Italians. We got the Jews.
I was going to say, the Italians take over Jersey.
Yeah.
They do the good work. When I lived in Massachusetts, I don't know why I didn't go to like Jersey more often. I didn't travel enough.
What are you gonna die?
You do a lot of things enough. You went to a party with porn stars and you ate food all night, Vito.
What was I gonna do?
Get them on the show.
Yeah.
Invite them all on the show.
Try to book
porn stars. They have low standards.
Hindsight is 2020. I was too busy hitting the food truck, man.
You should have been looking at their hinds then.
Twice I hit those food trucks. Yeah. Oh my god, I was eating good.
I have a pie now.
And I drank a good amount.
The only way that invite would have been more wasted is if it went to Lofty, and then he would have to tell us about his party and his hate for parties.
Lofty would have tried to talk to all the porn stars about what anime he's watching.
No, he wouldn't. He would have been like, "You guys are all wrong. This is bad. All this behavior is wrong."
Oh, is he one of those guys?
Kind of party. You didn't hear him on Rakita when he was trying to.
No, it was awful.
Parties.
I didn't hear that.
Oh, you should go watch it.
Yeah, that clip is so He can't explain what a party
Vito,
is, and
just
Dick's like,
block
"What
it."
the fuck's a party? Tell us about a party." He's like, "Well, you know, some people would get high." He's like, "We don't give a fuck about some people. You, Lofty, you. What the fuck did you do at Burning Man?"
Oh, I remember that. Yeah. And he didn't.
Lofty's an interesting individual.
Hey, by the way, I want to say, just apropos of nothing, build a fucking northern border wall. You Canadian cowards up there sending your fucking terrorists down to the United States, go fuck yourselves.
Yeah.
I understand what's going on up there. All during Vietnam, our cowards left this country, fled up there, bred, made a whole bunch of fucking two generations of pussies, and now you send your terrorists down here in an exploding car. Go fuck yourselves, Canada. Thank you. And by the way, that doesn't go to my Canadian backers and fans. I love you guys, but
Just keep all the snow Mexicans out.
yeah, stay where you are.
That car, man, was in the air. That was fascinating.
Yeah. Build a wall.
Although everybody's yelling at me and they're like, "It's not a terrorist." I'm like, "That's what they're telling you," but I guarantee that was a terrorist.
All right, what are we doing here? What is this video here of Eric July, by the way, the next Stan Lee, according to PJ Media?
According to John Delarose of PJ Media.
Yeah.
Did you see he wrote that?
I did. I read it. It was fantastic.
He's a trusted source.
Yeah, John. I think John's trolling me with his headlines. He's
you
trolling
think?
everybody.
The best is when John writes an article and he reads the article, but he doesn't actually say he wrote it. So he's like, "Oh, look at this random article
Over on Bounding in Comics." Can you believe it? John's a game player.
He's telling us the importance of knowing your character and why you need to know your character in order to make a good, compelling story.
Oh, good.
So,
Does he know his character?
I
he
agree.
he says he's been getting text messages from Chuck and them about, "Hey, would your character do this? Would Yaira do that?" So.
Well, that's good, I guess.
That these characters are in and that the audience can pick up on and enjoy for years to come. And that's I think the difference between working with fuckers that maybe this is kind of the flavor of the mainstream. This is kind of what it is that they do, where you have people that aren't necessarily competent enough to even writing, to even understand the characters, right? That they are writing, which is why you would get something like Batman, and there's this rally essentially happening where people are breaking into shit.
Yeah.
And then Batman's just going over it, and he says, "Well, it is what it is. They got
They're
insurance.
insured. They'll be fine."
That
business.
is so fucking out of character.
Yes.
For Batman. But what that tells me is that the person that's writing them, they don't know who they are. They
In
don't
Batman Year 2, which I just read.
Wow.
Do you agree with this assessment that those writers didn't know who Batman was?
No, they don't. Well, I will say this: like Batman Year 1, since he brings up Batman Year 2. Batman Year 1 was Bruce Wayne basically coming down hard on the rich, showing up at this banquet of like Gotham's bankers. They're don't read into the word bankers too much, but breaking into a big feast that they're having and lighting their shit on fire and saying your feast is almost over. Sounded
You
very
have
much.
eaten well.
That is right.
Something like that.
Frank Miller, and who knows
I know
Batman
comics.
better than
I
Frank
know
Miller?
some comics.
Well, Frank Miller and heel versus babyface. No Batman the best, I think. But
Yes,
to be
they are
fair, it's
experts.
competing.
I think it makes sense that Batman's focused on the source of the crime, so he wouldn't care about a low-level riot. He'd be like, well, who started the riot? Or like, is there some organized crime thing going on? Or who's using the riot as a pretense to like kidnap children?
Correct. Yeah, I think that's
Batman lets the cops handle shit. He's like, this is a cop job. This is not a Batman job.
Yeah.
I think they're upset with the line they have insurance or whatever, but
Yeah.
I don't know.
Well, because they're trying to read into it that it's a BLM analog, right? And just let them riot. It's no big deal.
Yeah, what would Batman do about Black Lives Matter? I think, like one of those big protests where
he'd expose it. He'd expose the corruption.
He would go right to the top, and he'd go right into that mansion.
The world's greatest detective would go, yeah, I looked up the paper trail, and you guys are fucking around.
Right. Would he beat the shit out of, like, high school students that joined because might be fun or because they believe in the cause, right? Would he do that? I mean, is that what Batman would do?
If they were in a back alley building a pipe bomb, he'd swoop down and be like, "Go back to school." But other than that,
Vito, it's weird how like you seem to understand Batman pretty well.
I mean, Batman. I like Batman. I know. I feel like I understand Bruce Wayne and the way he thinks.
He would throw a
He wants
batarang.
to teach lessons. He's like, if he sees like a guy who's going off the wrong path, but he knows like, yeah, he would know kids get swept up and shit. And he'd basically be your dad. He'd show up and he'd be like, "Stop fucking around." They go, "Okay, Batman."
No, he'd
Scattered.
go down there and beat the shit out of him, Beetle, just violently.
Beat the fuck out of kids.
No,
Well,
he
so
would
much of
probably,
this
like I said,
criticism comes down to like one line in one comic book. And then I'm like, yeah, but you didn't read the rest of the comic book. So like what else happens?
Well, I would say also, like, you're right. Nobody in the mainstream has any fucking clue. Ask me, I'm telling you right now. I worked there for 20 years. None of these guys know nothing about storytelling. So let's focus on somebody who does. Let's ask Eric, about the motivation of ISOM in ISOM #1. Let's talk about what he would do and why. Those are questions that are particularly interesting right now. Because last time I was there when we asked these questions, it became kind of a big problem. When people were asking these questions, it became, these people are retarded. It became a whole lot of stuff like that. So
we don't hold your hand around here in the Rippaverse.
Well, they said we're being pedantic, but like, I genuinely still don't know what motivates ISOM. The only thing that's motivated him so far is I feel indebted to this old family friend, so I'll go check a thing out. And then I checked that thing out, and a guy I used to know was kind of a dick to me, and I guess told his security guards to like escort me out. So now I'm on a single-minded vendetta against that guy.
but only for the first book, because then you're like, it's no big deal anymore. I'm gonna go fight hell monkeys.
Well, then his here's something I pointed out is I'm like, ISOM never really makes decisions. He just kind of gets thrust into situations like, oh, my employee's been kidnapped by a demon. And, it's not really a meaningful decision to go save your employee. It's like, well, yeah, you have to. Like, who else is going to do it? It's not a hard choice,
Yeah, what's making him do that? And the decision to quit was also really strange. Like, all right, so you flubbed rescuing 2 teenagers. Didn't
he save one of them? Didn't one of them get away?
Kid runs away.
One of them escaped with his life, but I mean, I really, why did you quit because of that? Like, first of all, why couldn't you save that girl? And then also, why? Like, I guess you quit because you were just like grossly incompetent. I mean, grossly incompetent.
I compared it to like a surgeon. Like a patient dies on the operating table, and they go, "Well, I've saved hundreds of people using my skills before, but this one, I just don't feel good about it, so I'm done." And it's like, well, that doesn't make any fucking sense.
Well, you're missing the point, Vito. You're missing the point. That was a white girl, which is the most important thing that the media knows, right?
That's true. If you can't save one white girl. But then I'm asking questions. I'm like, well, how long was he a superhero for? He must have saved a lot of white girls. He must be like, well, at least I can save the next white girl. That seems like the kind of thing where he could take a break, like a short, like for a week, and think about, man, fighting rock monsters sucks. But you know what? I'm a hero. I'm going to go back to it. The idea that he completely quit because of one monster, like, I don't know, man.
Would have been good. Like Superman, I think Superman has the most like kind of like, he's kind of like Jesus in a lot of ways, in the way he sort of accounts for every single life. Like, we would have seen Superman swoop in and save all of the convention goers, right? Except for one. Doomsday got one of them. And because of that one, like, Clark Kent would have gone back. Superman would have gone wherever he, and he would have suffered over that. And he would have cried. He would have gone somewhere and wept for the one person who got away, but he would have been recommitted to his mission. You just would have seen him be like, look, I'm needed now more than ever. Like, every single one.
Make sure it never happens again.
Every life matters. Quitting over that is a really strange kind of thing. Like, boy, we need to get into what it means to be a hero. And understand that, and there seems to be so much temperamentalness, really weird, like kind of like ego and temperament that we're seeing with this character.
Ethan, if I can ask a question, like the resistance to criticism, was it like this also in like private conversations you had with Eric? Because we saw how it played out in people in front of other people at different, but like in private conversations when it's just maybe just you and him, or even in like emails or whatever, and you're giving them solid advice, was the resistance still there, or how did that play out? Or
no, I mean, it wouldn't. I never criticized, anything that he was doing. I never did. Like, he would send me, like,
You let him run with it.
yeah, like, it's not my place to do that. And like, I'm not going to be the guy who's going to criticize you. Like, he would come to me and ask me for advice about printers and like warehouses and sprinter vans and stuff like that. And he'd be like, and I think I said this before, like, he's kind of like rude about it. Like, I'd get text messages from him like, where do you get those action figures done? And I'd be like, I mean, like, out of nowhere, like, I'd get a ding it. Where'd you get those action figures? Dude, can you say hi first? You know what I mean?
Or let's
like,
preface it with, hey man, those action figures look awesome.
Excellent. Right. Hey, how you doing today, Ethan? Hey, listen, I saw those action figures. Where are you getting those done? Would be nice.
Because I think I've sent you messages out of the blue, but hopefully I at least say like, oh man, those are real cool.
You want to say hi first, at least.
Yeah.
Like, how you doing? How's the family? Anything like that. It's like, oh, you're asking me, you're interrogating me about my business and my business acquaintances. Say hi first.
Proper etiquette. Yeah.
I didn't give him any advice about feedback or criticism like that. It's just not my place. I wouldn't have done that.
Well, I'm wondering who weighed in on the story. Like, I'm always wondering, like, because like with my script, I've sent it to at least like a half dozen people and been like, look, if anything doesn't make sense, like, tell me, and if any of the jokes don't land, let me know. Vito, and I've gotten good advice and I've made changes based on it.
Super Killer's really good. Vito did send me the first 28 pages of it. Yeah. The 28 pages, and it's good.
I wish it was worse.
It'd be nice if it sucked, yeah, but it was actually pretty good. So people are going to like it.
Wouldn't it be an easy W for us all if Vito made a bad book?
Eric would be very happy. I mean, look, I don't know if it's the best comic. It just has to be pretty good. But, like, there's just stuff about storytelling that I think I fundamentally understand because I've been, I don't know, obsessed with it and making big, stupid video essays about it. I think one of Eric's big problems is that he doesn't know how to raise the stakes. Like, if you're writing something and it's like, ISOM couldn't save this one girl, I go, make that monster blow up the fucking convention center and kill like 1 million people. Just do it.
1 million white girls.
Just, I would better understand, and also make it that he's somehow responsible, that he pissed off, he made it worse somehow. He showed up and he didn't realize that if you punch the monster starts to explode. And he's like, oh shit, I made him into a bomb. And then he blows up and he kills all these people. And he goes, I'm doing more hurt than I'm helping. I need to retire.
Somebody advise. Oh, how great would it be if like people gave him advice and he said, fuck your advice. Fuck your criticism.
Right.
And then
I'll
because
do it
of
myself.
That, right. He didn't listen. No, we need to tell you something about this monster. And then because he didn't listen, the monster ends up results in the death of that girl. And then
there's a bunch of cops outside, and they're like, "Don't go in. We have it contained. We're waiting on this team." And he's arrogant. He goes, "You need to get in there now." And they're like, "Well, that's not how we're going to handle it." And then because he's, headstrong and impulsive, he goes in, and it triggers the monster, and it fucks everything up.
What is the lesson learned? Like, why do we need to see? That would be the thing about storytelling. Like, what's the lesson that we learned here? Where did we go wrong? If he did something that made him think, look, I have a personality right now. I have a flaw in how I'm approaching things that I need to retire. I'm making things worse. And then you go and you punch a heavy bag for a little while.
Well, that's also the important thing. I was going to mention the same thing is that these are the same guys who are always talking about like Mary Sue's and shit. Like, they don't have any flaws. They never do anything wrong. And I'm like, well, I guess ISOM's major flaw is that he's hot-headed and he rushes in too quickly, but
is he?
He never suffers.
Is the writer aware that that's his flaw? That's the question. Is I don't know if that's something Eric's even aware of.
Eric thinks that's a good thing. Eric's like,
he thinks it's a strength.
Thanks.
Well, why is ISOM guilty for something that happened that he didn't prevent? He's not like guilty for 9/11 too. Just one panel where the girl asks ISOM like which direction is safe to go in, and he like points that way, and she goes that way because he thinks the monster's over there in the other direction, and then he like directed her to the monster, and then it would be his fault. But it's not even his fault that she dies.
Even
I
that
mean, there's
wouldn't
so
have been
much-
his fault. Like he'd be like, "What am I, a fucking
Yeah.
crossing guard?" Like
Maybe, yeah.
it
Okay, I
has
get
to
you.
be something where it's like, my approach is so wrong that I'm getting people hurt,
Right.
and I need to walk away. There's something. Maybe it's my pride. Maybe whatever it is, I need to walk away, and then something brings him back, and then the story should be him overcoming that flaw so that he
Yeah.
gets it right next time.
Well,
Facing
what
down
they
those-
could have did,
Yes.
not to interrupt you, Ethan, but what they could have did is the monster was trying to leave, and then he attacked him from behind, and that pissed the monster off to come back and restart the fight. And then he killed the girl.
Yeah, there was just no reason it's ISOM's fault. Like that reveal was laughable.
Like he goes in there looking for someone and he doesn't see it, so the monster's trying to leave, but Isom's like, "Well, no, you can't leave." He hits the monster. The monster's like, "Well, fuck it, now I'm gonna stay and now I'm gonna kill the girl because it pissed me off."
And it's funny because Eric's like a big Spider-Man guy, and you're like, okay, well, go read the first issue of Spider-Man. It's about a guy who got way too arrogant, let a bad guy run away, and the bad guy killed his fucking uncle, and he's got to deal with that. Like, that was directly his fault for not doing something heroic.
And then they fucked it up in the Spider-Man movies.
But ISOM's doesn't. It's not even ISOM. It's not ISOM's fault at all. He encountered a monster that was really strong, and he went, "Oh man, that guy's too strong. I'm gonna quit," which makes him actually a bitch.
Well,
Like-
the monster would have done that either way, like with or without ISOM's involvement. So
Yeah.
just-
So even if he wasn't there, the monster would have killed the girl. Whatever. So
Yeah.
yeah, the point
And the
of him
boy.
being. I get okay.
At least-
So what he's trying to say is that, like, ISOM felt so powerless in the face of this monster that for some reason he extrapolated this situation out, and he said, "Well, if I can't beat this monster, I'm useless." Which makes no sense because he was a hero for, I assume, years before that, and knows that he knows how to save people and do heroic stuff. So
And
it literally
what
just,
happened to the fucking monster?
if the monster had beat him into a pulp and he said, like, "I can't handle this," and I don't know, or something, or like the
PTSD.
monster kills his family, and then he's like, "Shit, like, I don't want to be involved in this anymore. Like, it's hurting people I love."
dude, it could have just been him and his niece and his sister at the fucking Comic-Con. Like Dick said in the beginning, it could be the niece driving the story. Like she could get hurt somehow or in
She
danger.
got crippled. Hurt
It's
her leg.
always people that have, who cares? Like, I think there's a strange thing that happens. I know it too. It's like you don't want to hurt your own cast. It's like with Cyberfrog, I've got like Lily and Heather and Colin and all these people who I'm building up and creating personalities for. And it's like, I go, shit, I don't want to hurt any of them. I love them too much. I don't want to hurt them. And Eric might have the same kind of, you got to just get over that. But Eric might have the same kind of thing. It's like, I've introduced, his sister, his niece, and all this stuff. And I'm like, well, you got to kill both of them right now. It's so important. They're not that great. You need to kill those two characters so that ISOM has a reason. If this is a revenge book, cool. Let's make it a revenge book, and do that. But I think
Darren
it's
needs
just,
to kill the sister. Like, that's it.
absolutely, yeah. And instead, like, it's
And then
like,
I go, "Oh, I get it. Your motivation is very clear." Like,
it's a
I
friend
get
of
it.
my sister's who's in trouble, and then just some rando at San Diego Comic-Con. It's like, nobody understands that. Like, if some random girl, fell in front of a train and I was unable to catch her or something like that, I guess I'd feel bad for a little while. I'd be like, shit. But it wouldn't really change my entire life. I'd just be like, damn, the world is really random and unfair. But if it were my sister, and I failed to save my sister from falling in front of a train.
You're the train conductor in this situation, by the way.
I'm the train
You're
conductor.
driving the train.
Oh, and she jumps in front of the train. I couldn't stop it enough.
You couldn't stop the train in time. You got to raise the stakes. You had control,
deeply,
but not
involved.
really. You go, "I can't ever ride that train again.
Yeah,
It hurts too bad.
Yeah, I can't be a train conductor.
I can't be a
ever
hero
again."
anymore because I experienced such trauma during that situation." Again, blow up the fucking building and make him somehow responsible for it.
Yeah.
Well, here's the thing, Lock It Up. He says, stop with the free story advice. I think Eric is so egocentric that anything we say here, he'll never use. So if we give the best advice, he's going to make his story worse.
We don't
by
care.
doing the
It
opposite.
isn't about that. It's about me and Vito actually do make comics, and I want to talk about.
Oh, I'm
And
making a comic
Tony
too.
and Riley, everybody's making a
and
comic
Riley
book.
too. Riley, yeah,
Yeah.
sure.
Safety
comic's
First is
done.
gonna be so good. It's gonna come out before Super Killer. You're gonna love it, EVS. It's my practice comic before the one I told you about.
That's
Look,
good.
look,
I mean,
I already got a mock-up cover. Look at that.
God damn it. Tony and I are in a race against Super Killer now. That's all.
no,
What drives me
hold on
nuts
a
about the Rippaverse guy? So I talked to that Shagsworth guy. I kind of wanted to pull a clip out of it, where I'm like, explain to me like what's exciting about the Rippaverse, and he's like, well, what's exciting is the potential. Anything could happen. I'm like, well, that's true if I hand you a piece of paper and it says the adventure is a fart bag. Like anything could happen in that story as well. So like, what specifically? And he's like, well, you know, the mysteries and like why this and why that. And I'm like, okay. He's like, I'm just waiting to see, you know, what the answers to those are. And I'm like, okay, well, the most obvious and honestly exciting mystery of the first book is why did ISOM quit? I think it was even in like promo material or something. It's like, why did ISOM quit? Such a great hero or whatever. And your chance to deliver on that mystery, like you fell on your fucking face. So the idea that like any other mystery, like who is Alpha Core? What is Yaira up to? I'm like, well, if it's anything like the reveal of why ISOM quit, it's not a good answer. Like you got to give me something more substantial.
You know what?
He also said I asked him what his most exciting, what he was excited for about Alpha Core, like what his favorite Alpha Core character is. And he said the guy in the helmet who hasn't said anything yet. And I'm like, well, why is that the most exciting part of it? He's like, because like there's got to be a reason he hasn't said anything. Like I want to find out why. And I'm like, that's not a good reason to be excited for. I don't get it, man. What is the fucking appeal?
You know what I think?
Again, I can draw a character with a butt for a face, and he doesn't say anything, and it's like, oh, what a fucking mystery. I can't imagine what this guy's gonna say when he finally says something.
I think it's just, you know, what people are excited about is like they're really excited about seeing Eric July be Stan Lee. You know, it's like,
and they're excited about Marvel and DC getting put in their place.
Yeah, that's what's exciting about it. You know, and I get it. You know, it's a pretty cool, you know, concept there. So I think that's what people are motivated by. The story, unfortunately, the story is going to drive that situation. That scenario, that outcome is going to be driven by how good the story is. So you can't really put the cart before the horse there. You got to make sure that the story is good in order for Eric July to become the next Stan Lee. So
the justification, and Eric keeps saying it, the justification he keeps giving, and he's like, modern audiences want to be spoon-fed. They want, you know, to learn all this stuff up front. And I'm like, well, yeah. And the reason for that is, how many times have you watched a Netflix show and you watch the first episode and it's boring as hell and you go, well, I'm not watching any more of that because that sucked. It's like, you have to front load the narrative and tell people what the hook is, or they're not going to stick around. And what he doesn't understand is that the people who signed up for it to begin with signed up for it because of him. But the average consumer, you know, just a regular guy off the street would pick up ISOM 1 and go, I have no idea where this is going and I don't know why I care. And that's it. Whatever story you have planned later on, this slow burn that's going to eventually pay off in some magical, exciting way. Well, good luck getting the audience to that point, because most people are just going to skip town well before you get to this exciting fucking multi-layered plan you have.
He's going to space next. Don't worry.
Dude, you read the first chapter of basically any comic and you get it. You know? I had that tweet where I was just going through like the first chapter of all these different Shonen Jump things. It's like, here's the character, here's what he wants. Here's the character, here's what he wants. What does ISOM want?
Respect.
I guess, but you can get respect for doing anything. Is he not a respected rancher? Like
running his ranch, yeah. I think he's being disrupted from running it. That seems to be the status quo. Because in ISOM 1 and ISOM 2, he's like doing ranch stuff.
Yeah, maybe that's all he wants, is to just go back to being able to ranch.
Everybody's bugging him. He doesn't want to be a
honestly, that would be a better, that would be a much better character. A guy who keeps going, fuck this hero shit. Stop throwing monsters at me. I just want to be a rancher. And they're like, no, you have to do this. You have to do this. It's like, I just want to make sure my cows are okay. I want to tend to the crops. And every day something fucked up happens and I hate you people. I would
And
love
he has
that
to get back in
character.
time to do the chores. I mean, it's
Oh,
almost
fuck.
comedy. That'd be
Every
fun.
time he
Like-
comes back to his ranch, something explodes and a bunch of demons pour out of a portal. And he's like,
Yeah.
motherfucker. God fucking damn it.
Just sat down to milk the cow.
Yeah,
I
just
Like
just
Kingdom
sat
Come
down to milk the
Superman,
cow.
I mean, you like retired into the country, and like now it's time to you got to be Superman again. I mean, there's something to that, but again, why? So you could be like, why do I have to come back from the ranch and be a hero?
Well, he's the only
again?
hero.
I like the idea of like a retired hero who just wants to get. It's such a good trope. I really like it. It's the Dark Knight Returns. It's one of my favorite things. But yeah, I gotta know why. I gotta know why he quit. I gotta know what's bringing him back, and both of those two things have been revealed already. And guess what?
They're not intriguing.
Right.
What mysteries are left for? Well, that's the other thing is they're like, I can't wait for all these mysteries to be involved. I'm like, well, what mysteries are? I still don't know what his powers are, but that's a less intriguing mystery than. That's the thing. I don't find the what are his powers question to be intriguing. It's like, well, you're going to tell me at some point. I don't know why you just haven't told me now. Do his powers come from Jesus or something? And that's going to be a big reveal.
Yes,
Yeah.
That's
Because
yeah.
once you know that, like, the origin of the name ISOM, you know that the tombstone, which young Klippa almost posed next to, but didn't.
Almost.
I
I played Pokemon Go there. You saw that, right?
Yeah, I don't know what that
Shut up,
means
Bradley.
though.
I own ISOM Nox now, the ghost of him. He's a
shit.
Smeagol.
Well, the tombstone says he died like he lived, a Christian. You see what I'm saying? So it's like I honestly think that's the only reason why he's got the cross on his belt, just to say like this is my grandfather, like or great grandfather. This is what I know about him. He was a Christian.
That would be interesting if ISOM's like a resurrected guy from like 200 years ago. That'd be
cool.
interesting. I don't think he'd be acting the way he's acting, though. Captain America doesn't really act like a thug.
But Captain America's white. Isom would
Yeah, I was
all
about
that
to say that.
resentment. 400 years.
A lot of different angles that way that story can go.
Is that the real
Maybe he's
Rippaverse
possessed by the
goalpost in
ghost.
the chat? Why doesn't he come in here and talk?
Yeah. He's
He
too
never comes
pussy to
up.
come in here.
He's afraid.
What's he afraid of? Rippaverse goalpost. Nobody's gonna bite you or anything, dude. If you come in here and say what you want to say, it doesn't have to be. I mean, it's not my show; it's Tony's show. But
I know Rippaverse Goalpost secretly likes us, and he just can't admit it.
I don't know. Be careful. Once you join the back room, you can start to smell me. That's a feature. So
We installed Smell-O-Vision.
I just like, man, this idea, like Eric keeps talking about, like, well, you just want to be spoon-fed, whatever. Like, I don't know why you can't just tell me his power. Like, why do they need to be? How does that make the story better?
Because
You can
then he
say
could
like
just make it up as he goes along.
the source of his powers can be a secret. Like, how did he get these incredible abilities? But like knowing the powers is what makes a good story tells you the rules of the universe, right? Rules are fun. Everybody says they hate rules, but really we love rules, especially in narratives. Okay. I always bring up the example of Aladdin. You meet the genie and it goes, you can't bring anybody back to life. You can't make anybody fall in love. And what's the other one?
No wishing for more wishes.
You can't wish for more wishes. Is that it? And you go, cool. I understand the rules. I understand the rules. He can't do this, this, or this. I also understand that he now has a genie and he's limited to 2 more wishes. I know that. Or 3 more wishes, whatever. And every time he uses one, I'm like, I know the rules of this universe, and it's exciting because I'm anticipating it. I'm going, how is he going to use the lamp? How is he going to get around these pratfalls or whatever? So when you tell me, your hero, he can shoot the Superman, he can do all this shit, but if the guy has this fucking kryptonite stone, he's fucked. I go, oh, cool. Okay, I know what's going to happen. I know what he can do. Like, setting up the rules of your universe it is interesting. And I don't know why you would keep it a secret going into the 3rd book.
That's spoon feeding you.
Yeah, but like, it's not spoon feed. Every comic book, the powers of the character, right?
Dude,
like,
we were looking at old comic books, and literally on the cover, they were like telling you what their fucking powers were. Like, here's the Fantastic Four, and they would show all of them using their powers on the fucking cover with little.
Did they establish the spawn meter in the 1st issue?
Yeah.
It goes, here's how much power you have. When it runs out, you have to go back to hell. Oh, that's interesting. Like, I don't know. It's
I
that's what's
remember kids
interesting.
talking about that. I was in high school. I was a senior in high school when that book came out. And I remember the comic book nerds in my art class had all bought Spawn #1, or they were reading about it in Wizard, and they were like really bowled over by that premise. They loved the little hourglass with this is it. Once he runs out of sand, the book's got to be over, right? I mean, he's out of power. They love that. People like stuff like that.
Yeah, it's endlessly fascinating. I always I keep going back to Death Note. I'm a big manga guy. Sorry, Ethan.
Don't
And Death
apologize
Note's-
to me. Apologize to the United States of
I'm
America.
apologizing to the United States. There's some good Western comics, but Japan has some good stuff. A Death Note is great, where you get a notebook, and as long as you know what somebody looks like, if you write their name into the notebook while thinking of them, you can specify the way they're going to die and when. And this guy goes, cool, I have a notebook that I can kill anyone. I'm going to become a god. And then the rules is just like, but he has to know what they look like, and he has to know their exact name. So he meets this detective who's like the smartest guy ever. And he's like, you don't know my name, and I might even be a decoy. You don't even know if I'm the real guy. And it's all about, I got to find out this motherfucker's name so I can kill him. And I love that. Like, it's just
That's a good
rules.
fantasy. Everybody could get into that, because it's like, boy, I wish I had that notebook. That'd be cool.
If you had that notebook, what would you do? How would you avoid getting caught?
I just make sure I knew how to spell Vito's last name, because right now I'm not really sure.
You'd be fucked.
Just Waldy.
I would just put my own name in it and then specify that I die 10,000 years in the future and then bury the notebook.
I don't think you can do that. I think that's against the rules.
You said I could specify when the person dies if I know their name and what they look like. I know what I look like. You're changing the rules on me, Vito. You're pulling a fucking.
Well, there's a lot of rules.
There's a lot of
Those are the basic rules.
Red for $2 says Gooding the Polycule. Great name, Eric. No, it's the Polymath. The Polymath. Everyone knows what a Polymath is. We can all identify with Polymaths.
That book's not going to do well.
It's a hard sell.
It's tough, man. You got my friend Mike Barron writing that. He's excited to be doing it. I hope he's being paid well, but I don't care about that character at all. Holy shit. Like Yaira, I can see Yaira doing okay. I think we're looking at 1.8 for Yaira, possibly.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe 2.
1 point. Wait, what are we predicting for Alpha Core?
I mean, it's
1.2.
dead right now. 1.2, possibly 1.3. My
1.25 was my guess. So
yeah, I was right on the money with this, because I mean, what's happening is the sales are decreasing by 50% every single time. Dropping back, and the solution, I think, was one of the things he was trying to do was, let me just lower the price of the book. It's got to be more than a Comicsgate books. Our books are $25, so he started out at $35, and we were like, what the hell? So knock it back $28. That's cool. That should have meant more sales. That should have meant more backers, but it didn't, at all. It still meant fewer backers, less money in the long run. So that's bizarre. That's a bizarre kind of result there.
I don't think it's bizarre at all. Like, I honestly went, don't knock the price down. You're nuts. Because his
most
model,
of his money isn't even from the comics. It's from the merchandise.
His model is not mass. He wants mass production. He wants mass audience.
Yeah.
But the audience he actually has is small audience
with lots of money to spend.
Yeah, huge return, whatever you want to call it. Deep pockets. I'd say honestly, what he should do is make all these comics, get the $35 a book for as long as he can, and then at some point do like a mass market paperback on like cheaper paper and be like, okay, now we're like pushing into that market.
Yeah, well, he has to do that. I mean, you can say like, if you want to defeat Marvel and DC, you've got to do it on their turf, And I keep saying this. It's like, he's in the parking lot while an NFL game is happening inside the fucking arena, and like those guys are kicking ass, but he's in the parking lot playing his own football game with his friends, and he outscored the Philadelphia Eagles, and so he thinks he's winning. And it's like, yeah, but you're playing out in the parking lot, dude. You need to be in the fucking stadium on their turf playing those players. and see what happens.
Does he
And
ever
that's the
get there?
truth.
Do you
Well,
think he ever gets there?
No,
Oh.
he'd have to make the choice to go there. He's deliberately
I
not.
see.
You know, he's got to be in the direct market. He's got to put his book in the direct market and all that stuff.
Like right on
I-
the
you know-
shelf, right next to him. 24
like,
pages.
I'm hesitant to do that myself because I've made a conscious choice to avoid going places where SJWs can stop me, where my enemies can stop me. Like I can't put myself in their hands. Like I got to just stay completely autonomous and in control. But even I am going to go through the direct market eventually because whatever books I can squeak in through the direct market, I'm going to reach more people who will hopefully follow me back out to the crowdfunding market. But it's dangerous. That wondering why like the mainstream isn't reacting to Eric or like us or Comicsgate. I mean, that's the reason why we're playing our football game in the parking lot. They're in the arena.
Bro,
So-
every time that's what drives me nuts. That's why I started going nuts. Everyone's like, why do you care about Eric July? I'm like, because his insane friends are making videos that say Marvel and DC are afraid of the Rippaverse. And I'm like, well, that's just incorrect. And I feel like somebody else has to say, no, that's not what's happening.
But Tim Pool says they're like worth $50 million, Vito. They got the greatest.
Tim Pool
IP
says that
ever.
Eric July is worth $50 million.
No,
Yeah,
his
20 to
company
50.
is. He said 20, and it probably is. I don't know. From the outside looking in, like if you don't know like anything about the characters, you're just looking, okay, these books are making $1 million. I think Tim Pool is telling him to sell his company. I think that's what it is, and he's just
I'm
reaching
telling
out
him to
and-
sell his company. He should absolutely, dude. If I
Didn't
was
Mark-
Eric
Matt say
July,
that? Matt Jarbo say that like 2 weeks ago, 3
Oh.
weeks ago, and everyone like ripped him. They're like, "Oh, what are you talking about?" He's like, "No, sell it right now."
well, he doesn't want to sell it because he wants it to be like this huge thing. And I'm like, I don't know, man. Like, just take the fucking payday. You're looking at the diminishing returns right now. Like the writing's on the wall,
No.
and it's not going to pick up from here unless you have some sort of radical strategy to get everybody excited about fucking Gooding the polymath.
He's definitely making a cartoon. Like he's 100% making a cartoon. He made a whole studio for it.
Yeah, I think he's trying to do that. I don't know who's going to pick it up. It could be. I mean, if it's Netflix, holy shit, that'd
I
be
hope it's
amazing.
Daily
for him.
Wire.
It's going to be
Probably
Daily Wire.
Daily Wire, yeah. I got to think.
His I think his play, and it's not a bad play, is that right now there's a bunch of these platforms springing up that want to be the alternate media or whatever else.
Right, the Blaze one. That's what it'll
Yeah.
be for.
Is the Blaze starting like a TV network?
They
Didn't they
are.
say that?
Yeah.
They did.
Okay, so it's
You know what else
obvious.
they said? You know what else they said? They said the value of the Rippaverse is in the warehouse. Thank you, Gates of Above, for the $5 super chat, which brings us up to $1,329, and we get Dancing Vito.
Never.
I was
saw it
so
again.
young and so happy.
Yeah.
I always dance along to that one.
It's a good
I
song.
My
Definitely.
customers pay for it. I believe in customers first, Ethan.
If I was Eric July, look, I think Eric July goes to Glenn Beck and goes, although Dick says the numbers are impossible. What does it cost to do a half hour of animation?
if it's a good
dude,
studio, a lot.
His teaser was what, 3 minutes long?
But it's like schlock Brazilian art studio stuff, right?
Yeah,
So it could-
that Brazilian studio that did his book also does animation, so they probably did that.
yeah.
I think if I'm Eric, I convince Glenn Beck to give me $10 million.
Well, he's going to get a bump soon in sales. Don't worry.
He makes a lot of money in merch too, so and a cartoon would just sell a lot more of that. So
Do you think he's making a lot on merch?
Half his sales are merch. Look at the
yeah,
numbers.
most of his money has to be coming from merch.
I think it's better to wear the clothing and the hat, than it is to buy the comics. Really, it's probably more fashionable. It's cool. Like, hey,
Don't forget,
Rippaverse.
go to killdozer.industries to get your biggest problem t-shirt and hat.
Oh, is that a fucking thing?
I don't know if the hats are up yet. I have to check
Well,
with
I'll
the...
tell you what. On the 4th, around the 4th of December, he's going to get a bump in sales. Mark my words.
What is that based on?
That's based on the lawsuit. He has to answer the lawsuit on the 4th. And so he's going to make a cry video going, guys, they went and sued me because Vito's mean and obtuse gnome and they're taking my grandpa's name. I need more money to help me fight.
I don't think you're going to hear anything about the lawsuit. I really don't. I think hopefully not. Hopefully Eric knows not to say anything because there's nothing good that can come.
Dude, he's poisoned the well. Like half the shit he said, they're gonna like bring it up in court, or they're like, "Hey, not only is this guy using our trademark, but he's like hurting our business."
Ethan, I don't know if you guys have paid attention, but the church actually clipped the streams that me and Ethan were on talking about it and put it on their Vimeo channel.
Yeah, and I just want to say, hey, ISOM, you fucking weirdos, that's my opinion. I'm sitting here talking about my opinion about, the lawsuit, whether or not it has merit. It's probably not a good idea to listen to me. Listen to...
it's a fantastic idea. Well, my inside man...
that's shooting fruity for you, buddy, because fucking... that's because you fucking ripped on Ricada on that stream.
Oh,
that's what you get. I laughed so hard when you went, "You look what you did! Look what you did!"
It is funny.
But was dying.
You know what's even better is Ethan said on that one of the streams, he gave a number what he thought the church would have charged. It was like $10,000 something. Someone who's close to Eric July, who got the inside information, let me know that number was actually lower. What the church asked for was ridiculously low.
Was that for each issue?
No. It was
just
like
a one-time flat fee?
No, it would have
been
Eric
July, he was so convinced. It would have been ongoing, but what it would have been like, you pay me $10,000 and then, this is your fee for in perpetuity, right? You can't just all of a sudden do whatever you want with our fucking thing.
Right. So it would have been, pretty clear, like what 10,000 to me sounds like it would have been the number, but to license the character ongoing, but also the church would have been, the ministry would have said, well, you can't have this kind of content in the book, you can't say this or do that, and they would have bullied him into compliance.
It's not just that. It's not just that, Ethan. They actually would have been okay if he would have just changed the name. If he would have put for ISOM 3. Eric July presents ISOM, the church would have been okay with it.
Wow.
From
really? Something as simple as that?
Something as simple as that. All he would just not be able to reprint the old ISOMs. He would have had to change the name like any future issues, right?
And just collect them all. Collect them all, sell ill-advised.
Yeah. But it's fucking ego, and because he thinks he's owed that name. Like, that's my grandpappy name. You can't take it from me. So...
Look, I understand, like, it's bullshit, and if, like, a lawyer can take care of it if a lawyer can get it tossed out or something, which seems possible, like, isn't that the kind of thing where you go to a judge and you go, listen, does this have any merit? And the judge goes, not really, no.
No, it has merit. That's why it went forward.
We're looking at 3 years of litigation, Vito. I'm involved in one of these exact same cases here. And it takes a long time. There's actual discovery involved in this. There's a whole lot of stuff before you go to trial to determine, like, look, was this? It's not like, does this have merit? Look, the trademark is different than copyright. ISOM holding the church holding the trademark to ISOM is ironclad. All they need to do really is prove that there's confusion. They can prove that. They've got testimony. They've got letters of trolls possibly saying that there's been confusion. There's probably a lot more people writing troll letters.
Even before the trolls, like, I was a little confused.
No, we all were. This is one of the things I said. Early on, like when I even asked her, I said, well, ISOM, what's ISOM? And he said, you'll see. And I was like, what? So a lot of people were looking up like ISOM on the internet, and
I Googled
that
it.
Church would come up. And then they'd be like, maybe he's got a deal with that. There is legit, like, I shouldn't say this because the ministry's probably listening and they're going to clip this again.
It was the first thing I thought when I first heard of ISOM, actually. I was so confused.
I was very confused.
I Googled it, and the first thing that comes up is the International School of Ministry, and I went, well, you got a cross on his
Everyone
belt.
did that. Everyone wanted to know, what the fuck is ISOM? Because everyone wanted to make a video and be like, oh, this is what it is, right? So everyone Googled it. People on Twitter tweeted about it. People on fucking Reddit put stuff. They go like, "Hey, is it this?" And then Eric's a dumbass because Eric is so fucking stupid. When asked directly by Blabs or what the fuck her name is, she's like, "Is it an acronym?" Instead of Eric going, "No, it's not an acronym. It's fucking my grandpa's name," he went, well, "I don't know. Maybe it's
He
an
could have
acronym."
said that. Yeah, he could have just been like, "What is ISOM? ISOM is the name of the character. It's my grandfather's name," and that would have been that would have ended confusion. But like, yeah, like he had to get sued to say that one thing. It's really weird. So the lawsuit is going to go on and on. So he has to prove that there's confusion. I believe they can do that. And then the other thing is they have to prove that it's doing damage to their brand. And guess what? It most certainly is.
Dude. All you have to do is like quote some of like Eric's videos, and it's like, well, that's not very Christian.
All I gotta do is quote his video where he goes, "That ministry's not Christian. Fuck your church.
Fuck those fake Christian." Yeah.
A lot of people saying the lawsuit has no merit. It's going to get thrown out. Dude, you are so wrong. You guys are wrong. I mean, it could get thrown out. The judge could just be like, it really
It's a
depends
leftist judge.
Yeah, it depends on who the judge is, though, and what kind of mood they're in. But, like, no, this is not cut and dry. I mean, I hate to say it. It really is not. This could go, and in any case, even if it was, litigation is going to last 2 to 3 years, back and forth, and it's going to cost a lot of money. This is $100,000 in legal fees alone. So I would have.
You better hope you have deeper pockets than a fucking church ministry that's been going for like 30 years.
Yeah, all over international, all over the world.
They only make $1 million a year.
Okay?
Yeah, but all those guys are volunteering. That Baron guy, he the CEO, he's a volunteer. They have money outside of that, and this is what they do as part of their like charitable stuff. So it's like that whole chair board of directors, they all come from money. They all have money aside from that. That's really a non-profit charity, you know. So who knows?
Well, I don't know if I said this before, but he should just be happy it's not a Jewish ministry, because then he'd really be fucked.
Oh, don't worry, the lawyers.
The lawyers are the Jewish
Vito.
ministry.
Yeah, that's all that matters there. Take my word for it.
Even the Christians get a Jewish lawyer.
Yep. So I don't know, man. It worries me. That whole thing worries me. I think the lawsuit's a big deal, but Eric should not comment on it, and neither should I. So I'm gonna stop, because I know those guys are listening to this show, and hey, ministry.
He probably
whatever.
shouldn't have made a fucking video saying, and the problem is these two comedians who keep making fun of my comic book. It's like, well, maybe just focus on the lawsuit. And the other thing is, as I said to that Shagsworth guy, I'm like, if Eric had just come to me and said, look, man, the feud's fun. Everybody's, I gain audience. I monetize the haters. You guys are monetizing the fight. Okay, we're all internet personalities. We all rip on each other. It's part of the game. But I'm worried about this letter. I'm not happy about it. Is there anything we can do or whatever? I don't know. I would have been like, yeah, let's figure it out. Maybe I can send a letter to the lawyer and be like, or whatever, to them and be like, listen, this guy I think is a troll. We don't employ journalists.
That's not his personality, though.
Vito,
that's not his personality. He's
no, of course
it wouldn't have made a difference. You think this is about you, and it isn't about you.
I don't think it's
the
about
the ministry.
That's
has been
a different
this
issue.
Lawsuit for at least a year. You understand? If I own a trademark, I'm going to Google the trademark all the time and just see what's up, what people are saying about it. So these guys a year ago, checked in on their trademark ISOM just to look. And all this other stuff started popping up, and they said, "What the fuck is this?" And that, believe me, the lawsuit, the wheels went into motion then, and it raised $3.7 million. Oh, is that right?
Yeah, how do I get my cut of that?
You know what's the other thing?
Nothing to do with you guys. What?
No, I know.
The other thing is, hold on. The other thing is that, again, my little birdie tells me all the information. All those ISOMs that people were bringing up, like, oh, how come they don't sue this ISOM? How don't they sue this ISOM? Blah, blah, blah. Turns out ISOM does have agreements with a lot of those organizations.
That makes sense. They're probably paying a fucking fee just to use it.
Yeah. As the first one among us that Baron followed on Twitter, I hope that him flagging my obvious parody was in some way inciting on them acting.
It was actually
on this. Because it must have been flagrant, right? He's flagging down fucking jokes while stealing their fucking trademark. That would make me so angry if I was a good boy trying to be nice to a fledgling business owner.
Well, they did say, from what I hear, they did say that Eric July trying to enforce his trademark was one of the catalysts for them enforcing theirs. Like, oh, wait a minute. He does understand what's going on.
Fucking scumbag.
All I know is
Riley, go ahead.
Things have gotten pretty silly.
Yeah, I like it.
Well, I mean, I find it endlessly hilarious. Like,
Eric killed me, and now I'm a hellspawn inhabiting the body of Riley.
Yeah, I would not have fucked with Riley. Not a good plan.
I have nothing else to do but this.
I always say, never fuck with a bored fat man, because what do you think we're doing? We eat a cheeseburger and then we cause chaos.
We have such low impulse control. You don't understand our power.
Yeah, exactly.
Vito and I will say anything at any time.
It's not smart.
I got both of you on one stream, Jesus.
Yeah, look, we got nothing else going on. We go on fucking Tony's stream.
I don't know what you guys are gonna say. Not that I'm a little piece of shit that you guys are visiting.
No, I'm not gonna say anything. We love you, Tony.
I like all the frogs around me. It's a good aesthetic. I've gotten into frogs lately.
I know you guys are fighting over the Lord of the Frog fucking crown.
Well, let me take a stab at it. Tony, you want to see the Cyberfrog video game?
Hell yeah!
All right, let me show you the Cyberfrog video game. It's on YouTube.
So exciting.
Ready? Tell me when I'm shared.
You're shared.
Oh, okay, there we go. Look at him standing there.
You got to make it a dating simulation.
Standing there menacingly. Look at that.
Yeah. Hold on.
Pie Man game art.
Are you excited? Are you ready to play?
I'm excited. Oh yeah. I love video games. My channel started off as a video game channel. I don't know how I ended up talking about comic books all the goddamn time.
I don't either. You know.
Dude, now we've created like an entire comic like splinter group. It's weird. Oh yeah, little animation there.
I'll tell you what, it doesn't look bad so far.
Yeah, what is it from? Like, what do you think this is? Like a PlayStation, like early kind of?
I would say this is like a PS2.
Yeah. PS2 era for sure.
Kick that car. Boom.
I've got to get those power units.
I will say I had to make sure that my frog character was legally distinct from Cyberfrog.
Well, I appreciate that. There are about 100 frog-based indie comics right now that emerged.
Yeah, you're so original, Tony. You fucking idiot.
Everybody's been the frog man for a while.
Everybody's
I wanted to make it a
copying
self-insert. I was like, oh, self-insert, make him a frog. It's obvious.
What do you think so far, Vito? Is it okay?
It's a pretty good start, man. It looks good. I like the graphics. I love these style of graphics.
Yeah,
You just need a kick and you got to get a soundtrack behind it though, quick.
Well, it does have one. You just can't hear.
Oh, you got to turn down a little bit.
It's NWA's "Hello."
You got to get somebody to record the official Cyberfrog like cartoon song.
Oh yeah.
He's the frog from outer space, kicking ass all over the place. He's the Cyberfrog.
I will say, Cyberfrog and the Wasp, the Vespas, they look good. Everything else looks generic.
You think it looks too generic?
Well, yeah, because it's like when you start building a game, you have like all these stock assets, and then you refine them later. You know?
Yeah, but this is like a fan project, so I don't think there's going to be much refining. Right?
Hey, who knows, man?
You can play another video game. You can go in here.
Ooh.
I think he's gonna play
it's a game inside a game.
That's me. It's Batman.
Pie man coming.
And that's my family chasing me around, by the way.
I
Yeah,
like the
pretty
animation on
badass.
this is good.
Why would this be something?
Is this your typical gaming experience, Ethan?
Yeah, this is what I think all video
This
games
is your
should be
speed?
like. Yeah. So stupid. Look at
I will say
Cyberpunk.
this, Ethan. If you did get a Cyberfrog game, that would definitely reach a wider audience. Get you that mass market appeal.
Well, I mean, I'd like to do it. You know, it's not.
They have to
easy.
be good though, obviously.
You could put something like this on the Switch market easily.
Yeah, but it has to be good. If she puts a
Well, sure.
substandard game out there, it wouldn't help them. But if you put a good game,
Just photo scan all your neighbors' houses so it looks like New Jersey.
I'm gonna get Ethan to do the Cyberfrog card game at some point.
Oh
That's a
yeah,
good
do you know
idea.
how to do that? Do you know how to make a card game?
He does.
Yeah,
All right, let's do it. Why not?
he did all the art.
I was
for the
I was
game.
supposed to make a card game with what's his fucking name? Stone Toss. But then he I think he got busy.
I have this. This is a really good game. It's better than Cards Against Humanity.
What's that?
Oh, you got enemy weapon?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's my game. That's one of my games.
I don't get any free shit from Vito. You don't send me
I'll send you a
nothing.
copy of Enemy Weapon, or just go buy one on my website for like 30
I was gonna
bucks.
say I didn't get free shit. I had to buy it. Fuck you, Tony.
I love how it went from free to like buy it really quick. Like, well, I'll give you free. Well, you just buy it.
Well, I'm just saying, you know, if you're a real Vito fan, I'll send you one. Give me your
I like-
address.
I like the sewer layers. That's fun.
He doesn't talk. He just croaks. I guess that's good.
Interesting.
Anyway, I'll stop.
This is
now.
when he first shows up on Earth, and he hasn't learned the language yet.
Oh yeah, of course.
You have to find his
Well, Vito.
you have to
he's
find his
on
translator module.
Earth. He's from Earth, you dork.
So what
I
happens?
thought it was
like,
from space.
No.
well, he is from space. Of course he is. I mean,
Thank
but
you.
He was born on Earth, but he is an alien.
Well, yeah. he's-
Okay.
How would that work if he was born on Earth? He can't be an alien.
So the way the alien
Bravest
species
frog in the
works
forest.
is they're in utero. The fetus in utero doesn't actually take shape until it is exposed to its parents or any two beings. So that alien species extracts the fetus without it ever coming into contact with anyone, puts it inside a Sin spacecraft, and then sends it to a different planet. So they sent one of those fetal masses to Earth, and it came in contact with a frog. So that's why it looks like Cyberfrog. It was meant to look like one of the aliens. But there you go. So there's the Cyberfrog video game demo. If anybody wants to play it, let me know.
It looks exciting.
Mitch,
it's fun.
Blue Gundam
Wanna play
13
the
says,
Cyberpunk
ask
game?
Ethan. Hold on.
Okay.
He says, ask Ethan if he remembers Rob from Comics Explained interviewing him, and if Rob hated him later on. That's the first time I ever saw Ethan.
No, I mean Rob and I never had any problems at all. I don't know if he hates me now, but we never had any negative interactions. But yeah, I like that guy.
And well, that brings us up to $1,334.99 of owning our enemies and watching dances.
Yeah,
Thank you again,
Dick,
Blue Gundam.
Dick Masterson dancing on the grave of virtualized ancestors. Just it's pushing it, don't you think, Vito?
I disavow.
Yeah, me too.
You were giving it the thumbs up. What are you talking about, Vito?
You put that there.
I'm sure Dick loves it.
Yeah, well, Dick's fucking nuts.
True.
We're just having a laugh. It's just jokes.
You had
Just
Dick
jokes. I
on?
like jokes. No, I've never.
You gotta ask Dick on.
Dick doesn't go on shows.
Yeah,
No.
he used to do the 108 thing. I wonder if he's still doing that now that you've done 108 of the show.
Wait, he used to do
What
what
would Dick
one?
He
even
used to
talk
do
about
everybody's. He used to do everybody's 108th episode because he didn't get to do his
Oh.
own 108th episode. But now you've done one, so
It's
I
a
don't know
good
if that
bit.
rule's in place anymore. You have to ask him.
We should have skipped 108 and just went straight to 109.
You should have just ended the show for like a week just to fuck with everybody. Just take 1 week off. Burst
I
out
thought
of the
about just
room.
not showing up to the live show because it would have been really funny.
You do the one
Just-
after that. Like,
Sending him a message and be like, I quit.
Well, you
I
should
can't
have
work
skipped
with you anymore.
108. Skipped 108, did 109, and then just gaslit everybody. Like, what are you talking about? There was a show last week. Did you guys see it? Oh, it got taken down? What? And just
I
pretended
need
like
to
it was alright.
find 2 black comedians in LA. And one episode, I just want, we go live, and it's just 2 black guys named Derek and Vince. And they just go, all right, welcome to the blackest problem in the universe.
your guy's gonna be really fat.
Yeah, like a fat black guy and a black guy with like a beard with a little gray in it.
Yeah.
And they just go, yeah, it's Derek and Vince here with the blackest problem in the universe. We're going to talk about the black community and what's going on. And then never reference it. And anyone who asks about it, we go, I have no idea what you're talking about.
Don't you have a black guest lined up, like your first black guest ever?
Yeah, but he's like a normie.
I thought you were gonna say he's not black enough. He's not really black.
No, he's black.
Light skin.
How
the problem
black
is,
is
like-
the guy you have in captivity awaiting his appearance?
Here's the problem is we live in LA. So any comedian friends I met, like they're all like pussy hippies. You know, they're all like liberal morons. So I go like, hey, do you want to come on my podcast? And they're like, what's it about? I'm like, oh, we come up with like problems. And they go look at the list of problems and it's like not being allowed to do blackface. And they're like, I don't think I want to be on your podcast.
You gotta go to
It's a
Long
good
Beach,
problem, though, Vito.
I could go to Long Beach.
Go to Long Beach. They have that comedy club out there. You'll probably get.
They go,
I know
what's
what
the
you
deal
mean.
with Dick Masterson? I'm like, oh, he's like, you know, hangs out with Nick Fuentes sometimes. And they're like, okay, well, Gavin McGinnis hates Dick though, so that's a
Yeah, it's
plus.
like on the other side, everybody also hates him too. So the other side of that coin.
I did get to meet Gavin McGinnis at that one show, and then somebody told me Gavin McGinnis liked me, so that was cool.
Have Josh Dinney
Gavin-
on the show again.
Gavin hates Dick
Yeah.
because Dick
Didn't Dick
fought
used to
with him
work
that
for
one
him?
time. Dick helped him make a website to like collect donations for like a bunch of Proud Boys who got like arrested or whatever.
Gavin
like a-
yapped at him. Like
Well,
was
he
a
sent
co-
like
a
Dick a
coder.
message, and he was like, "You, this part of the website's broken," and Dick's like, "Okay, I'll get to it like as soon as I can." And Gavin's like, "That's unacceptable. You need to do it right now." And Dick's like, "You're not like paying me, right? Like, I kind of set this up as a favor,
Hmm.
And then he also had somebody on the show who just ripped on Gavin said his like fundraiser was fake or something. So.
Oh,
Yeah, we
I
went to
just
this
got
comedy
message.
show, and Dick said, "Hey, Gavin, that was cool, like good set." And Gavin goes, you said like a bunch of fucked up shit about me." And Dick's like, "Yeah, well, it's a podcast."
Nice.
And he's like, "Okay, well, like we're not friends or anything." Dick's like, "Yeah, I didn't think we were." And it was really awkward because then I went, "Hey, Gavin, can we get a picture?"
Oh boy. Did
And
he
he's
give you
like,
the
"Yeah,
picture at
sure."
least? Yeah, okay,
Yeah.
that's good.
Hey, I know you hate my co-host, but I didn't do anything to you.
Yeah.
And Gavin was drunk out of his mind. He did the same bit twice.
Huh.
He did like 20 minutes, and he did the same bit like 5 minutes in that he did like 15 minutes in.
Nice.
And everybody went, well, that's pretty good.
Well,
Hey,
I
at
have
least
to show
he's
you this.
canceled, right?
I have
Oh,
to
Rock and
show
Roll
this
Ninja is Chuck Dixon's other book. I keep seeing that.
because-
Is that the one? Oh, I thought Matt was doing that, but that's Richard Meyer. That's your boy Zach. Is that correct?
Look, I have no idea, but if I don't play this, he's going to make my frog character a homosexual with Eric July's character. So I have to play this.
Oh my
You're also
god!
in this. You're also in this, Vito. So.
You're playing page 16.
Food up on the other side, my man.
What it be Baron is. So Ask I Do would be Baron around. Would he?
He would have let us know if he was expecting someone. Shoot him an email.
You see what it is. I'm an old friend of his. That what it is. My name is a very simple man. That's what it is. And well, you see, I just happen to be in town. That's
The
where
hell
I'll
is
be.
this?
Since I am in town,
I have no
here,
fucking idea.
goddamn diddly do out.
This is
It's
Avery
like
Simpleman.
page 16.
This is the
Presumably,
exact-
there's earlier.
Why is
videos.
Avery wearing a fucking suit and tie?
Look at the channel.
No, Avery's this one right here.
Oh, that's Avery wearing the pink.
Yeah.
I thought that was Jasmine.
No, he's not
Oh,
looking
boy.
for Jasmine. He's looking for Desmond.
Eric's son.
I'll stop in and say hi. That's what I figured.
Sure you are. But you can't just waltz in here demanding to speak to the owner. I'm afraid you'll have.
Who is it? I see some ugly looking brother on the security camera, and look who it is. I knew who it was, so I don't even know why I asked who it is.
Oh, it's Darren. Okay.
Oh,
Baron.
Come on in. I'll give you a tour of the spot while you're here. It has been a minute, Mr. Simple Man. You can't be doing well if I don't know what you're up to. Looking for some work.
No, I say no. You see, what it is that I'm not looking for work. You see, it is a no to that. That would it be?
Why would
Sure,
Eric July do
I
the
could use a
voiceover
couple
for
more
this?
hands and
He's a
AI.
good guy. He helps out.
For the
smaller
page.
No,
creators.
that's actually him.
It's really
Really?
him. You can tell.
They
No.
cut it.
Oh, that's not him. That's AI. Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I was like,
Oh,
what the hell
dude,
is-
AI voices are so good now. If you give me a minute of Eric July just talking, I can spit you out a voice model in like 2 seconds.
Is that right?
Hell yeah.
That's what the Rippaverse does.
in the kitchen.
You know, it is that I am thankful for what it is that you be considering me for. But it isn't what it be that I'd be wanting, if you know what I mean. But there is something that I really do want to ask you. You know, I'm not here to be in your.
That's you, Vito. You're there
That's
in the
me?
background with Dick. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, I know. This guy asked me for my fucking model. He made a model of me.
That's funny.
I look good.
That would I not be here for, but be here I am for that which I was told to be here for. And that is me looking for Desmond. Desmond be that which I am here for.
And what they sent you to me? You a
say?
detective now?
You know where she at? Where she be? Look, I'll level with you. If I don't do what it is I am here to do, that is find Desmond. The mama's gonna kill me, okay?
I just love that this whole thing has inspired so many creators to really flex their creative muscle. It's fascinating.
TJ Laser. was in
True
there.
art is
I was
being
in there.
created.
That was like Shakespeare. It's funny.
See, I fixed Vito for you, EBS. Yeah. Good job, Sig.
Oh, yeah. I saw a model of Vito. It's this guy. I saw a model of Vito, and it didn't look anything like him. That looks just like you, so it's good.
I sent him a picture. He asked for a picture of my face, so I sent it to him. So he mapped that onto a character. Yeah, the previous one looked like Hispanic or something.
I'm a mark for the dialogue. You really got me there. That was great.
It's compelling. Compelling guy.
That is what it is like to listen to Eric talk about what it is that he talks about.
But what it is what it is.
All right, I got to go, guys. I'll see you later.